Rama Rama Hare Hare. जय हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय, गोपाल की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God Narayana, unto Narayana, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashtaprayesha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki. By regular attendance in classes of the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Let's share the screen just to move on. So we'll be discussing from chapter 6 of 4th canto, 4 verses. Brahma satisfies Lord Shiva. Maitrivacha अथ देवगणाः सर्वे रुद्रानीकैः पराजिताः शूलपट्टिशा निस्त्रिंश गदापरिघ मुद्गरैः सञ्चिन्न भिन्न सर्वाङ्गाः सात्विक सभ्या भयाकुलाः स्वयंभुवे नमस्कृत्य कार्त्स्नेनैतन् न्यवेदयन्. Go to the word meaning. Maitreya Uvacha, Maitreya said, Atha, after this, Devaganaha, the demigods, Sarve, all, Rudra Anikaihi, by the soldiers of Lord Shiva, Parajitaha, having been defeated, Shula, trident, Pattisha, a sharp-edged spear, Nistrimsha, a sword, Gada, mace, Parigha, an iron bludgeon, Mudgaraihi, a hammer-like weapon, Sanchinna Bhinna Sarva Angaha, all the limbs wounded, Saratvik Sabhyaha, with all the priests and members of the sacrificial assembly. Bhaya Akulaha, with great fear. Swayambhuve, unto Lord Brahma. Namaskritya, after offering obeisances. Karsniyena, in detail. Etad, the events of Daksha's sacrifice. Nyavadeyan, reported. Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Please see the translation. All the priests and other members of the sacrificial assembly and all the demigods, having been defeated by the soldiers of Lord Shiva and injured by weapons like tridents and swords, approached Lord Brahma with great fear. After offering him obeisances, they began to speak in detail of all the events which had taken place. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Go to the next verse. Upalabhya puraivaita Bhagavanabja sambhavah Narayanascha Vishwatma न कस्याध्वरं यतुः उपलभ्य पुरैवैतद् भगवानब्जसम्भवः नारायणश्च विश्वात्मा न कस्याध्वरं यतुः. Anybody want to recite?
Hare Krishna, may I recite?
Yes, Mother.
उपलभ्य पुरैवैतत् भगवान् अब्जसम्भवः नारायणश्च विश्वात्मा न कस्याध्वरम् ईयतुः.
Thank you, Mother. Hare Krishna. Go to the word meaning. Upalabhya, knowing, pura, beforehand, certainly, I'm sorry, eva, certainly, etat, all these events of Daksha's sacrifice. Bhagavan, the possessor of all opulences. Abja Sambhava, born from a lotus flower, Lord Brahma. Narayana, Narayana. Cha, and Vishwa Atma, super soul of the entire universe. No, not. Kasya of Daksha. Adhvaram, to the sacrifice. Iyatuhu, did go. Translation and purport by Divine Shri Prabhupada. Jai Shri Prabhupada. But both Lord Brahma and Vishnu had already known that such events would occur in the sacrificial arena of Daksha. And knowing beforehand, they did not go to the sacrifice. Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.26, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna. Lord says, I know everything that has happened in the past and is going to happen in the future. Lord Vishnu is omniscient, and he therefore knew what would happen at Daksha's sacrificial arena. For this reason, neither Narayana nor Lord Brahma attended the great sacrifice performed by Daksha. For the fourth verse. Tada karnya vibhu praha tejiyasi kritagasi क्षेमाय तत्र सा भूयान् न प्रायेण बुभुत्सताम् न प्रायेण बुभूषताम् तदा कर्ण्यविभुः प्राह तेजीयसि कृतागसि क्षेमाय तत्र सा भूयान् न प्रायेण बुभूषताम्. Anybody would want to recite?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
तदा कर्ण्य विभो प्राह तेजीयसि कृतागसि क्षेमाय तत्र सा भूयान् नाप्रायेण बुभूषताम्.
Yes, Singh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, may I?
Hare Krishna, yes.
Tada karnya vibhupraha tejiyasi kritagasi kshemaya tatra sa bhuyan na prayena bubhushatam.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Word to word meanings. Tat, the events related by the demigods and the others. Akarniya, after hearing. Vibhuhu, Lord Brahma. Praha replied. Teji Yasi, a great personality. Kirtagasi, has been offended. Kshemaya, for your happiness. Tatra, in that way. Sa, that. Bhuyatna, is not conducive. Prayena, generally. Bhuvushatam, desire to exist. Translation and purport by Divine Shri Prabhupada. Jai Shri Prabhupada. So when Lord Brahma heard everything from the demigods and the members who had attended the sacrifice, he replied, you cannot be happy in executing a sacrifice if you blaspheme a great personality and thereby offend his lotus feet. You cannot have happiness in that way. Purport. Lord Brahma explained to the demigods that although Daksha wanted to enjoy the results of fruitive sacrificial activities, it is not possible to enjoy when one offends a great personality like Lord Shiva. It was good for Daksha to have died in the fight, because if he had lived, he would have committed such offenses at the lotus feet of great personalities again and again. According to Manu's law, when a person commits murder, punishment is beneficial for him, because if he is not killed, he might commit more and more murders, and therefore, he be entangled in his future lives for having killed so many persons. Therefore, the king's punishment of a murderer is appropriate. If those who are extremely offensive are killed by the grace of the Lord, that is good for them. In other words, Lord Brahma explained to the demigods that it was good for Daksha to have been killed. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Gyan Jamanandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Papitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Upakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutabada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sagana Raghunatamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Saganalita विशाखांश हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु भयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे योऽन्त प्रविश्य ममवाचि मां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयते किल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यां च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं मुखं करोतु वाचा पङ्गं लङ्घयति यत्कृपातमोदे प्रमाणमात्रम् नमो विष्णु 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 भगवते श्रीमते महाविष्णु स्वामी नमो विष्णु 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 बुद्धिविलास स्वामी निर्विशेषणीय वाचन जगन्नाथ बदेश्वर हमारे की जगन्नाथ अच्छा भगवान जी पंचतत्व स्वरूप Krishna. So Hare Krishna Prabhupada Mataji, thank you very much for joining and keeping the appointment Krishna, right? To today's 14th of August 2024. So we'll be discussing the 4 verses as has been given me the opportunity to discuss these 4 verses from 4th canto, 6th chapter, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the chapter is entitled Brahma Satisfies Lord Shiva. So in the first and second we saw the translation, right? So that all the priests and other members of sacrificial assembly and all the demigods, having been defeated by the soldiers of Lord Shiva and injured by weapons like tridents and swords, what did they do? They approached Lord Brahma with great fear. And not only approaching, they offered obeisances. After that, then they began to speak in detail of all the events which had taken place in the sacrifice. So they see the approaching Brahma. See, whenever in difficulty, you have to approach an authority, right? And in fact, demigods do that. Whereas demons, they don't do that. That's why they are demons. They think that they are the authority. They do whatever they want. Whereas the demigods, they approach the authority. This is the situation. To please solve it. So they approach Brahma when they are in difficulty. And more important is they pay obeisances. When they meet a superior authority, they pay obeisances, right? First. Then only they start speaking, right? In a humble manner. This is the etiquette that is to be followed. So they approach Brahma and they offer obeisances. Because obeisances is the greatest remembrance of Krishna. Obeisances is the greatest remembrance. If you obey your elders, you always play namaskars, then that means that is the greatest remembrance. In fact, Krishna is remembering you. That's why you're able to do that. So please think about it. If you're able to do that, when is Krishna is remembering you? Right? That's a beautiful statement. See, 9.452 Bhagavatam, the translation it says, it's about another episode wherein Durvasa Muni, right? He offended Maharaj Ambarisha. So he says, with a fearful heart, Durvasa Muni, because now the Sudarshan Chakra, Maharaj Ambarisha did not do anything. He didn't retaliate also because of the. So Sudarshan Chakra started following. So the Durvasa Muni was running around, right? He went here and there seeking shelter. Please help me from this Sudarshan which is following me. But when he could not find any shelter in this world, then he approached Brahmaji, right? And what did he? Oh my Lord Brahma, kindly protect me from the basic Sudarshana Chakra sent by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In fact, he went to Lord Shiva also, and he also said, I had no control on this. And he ultimately went to Lord Krishna also. Krishna said, even I don't have any control. You have to go approach the devotee, her Hamprisha. Then only he will stop. See, in purport of 10.164, Prabhupada says that Mother Earth, Bhumi Devi, she implored Lord Brahma to give her relief from the so much of distresses created by these demons, right? So much of demonic activities. So Lord Brahma informed her that Krishna himself was going to appear. That's why Bhagavad Gita 4.8 says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So whenever there is a burden created by the demons, no? And whenever the innocent devotees are distressed, created a lot of difficulties for them by demonic rulers, no? Krishna appears to kill the demons with the assistance of his real representatives, that is, who are technically called demigods. Prabhupada says in the Prabhupada. Krishna appears to kill the demons with the assistance of his real representative, that is, and who are technically called demigods. See, in the Upanishads, it is stated that demigods are different parts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, as it is the duty of the parts of the body to serve the whole, right? So, it is the duty of Krishna's devotees to serve Krishna as Krishna wants. So, Krishna's business is to kill the demons. Therefore, this should be a devotee's business also. Demonic activity. Because people of Kali Yuga are fallen. However, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of kindness for them, no, he did not bring any weapon to kill them. Rather, by spreading Krishna consciousness, love of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to kill their demonic activities. So, this is the purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement. See, unless the demonic activities on the surface of the world are completely diminished, demolished, or vanquished, unless that is done, no one can be happy. So, Prabhupada says the program for the conditioned soul. Of course, we have conditioned soul, of course, we have so many programs, except Krishna consciousness. So, whereas he says, program for the conditioned soul is fully described in Bhagavad Gita. And one simply has to follow these instructions to become happy. That's it. Everything is given. Program for the conditioned soul is fully given in Bhagavad Gita. And what we have to do? We have to simply follow these instructions to become happy, if you really want to become happy. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore prescribed Hare Nama, Hare Namaiva Kevalam, Kalau Nastyeva Gatir Anyatha. Let people chant the Hare Krishna mantra constantly. Then their demonic tendencies will be killed. And they will become first class devotees, happy in this life and the next. In the purport of 10.19, Prabhupada says, after Lord Brahma understood the precarious condition of Bhumi Devi, he first visited the demigods headed by Lord Indra, who are in charge of the various affairs of this universe, right? And Lord Shiva, who is responsible for annihilation. See, both maintenance and annihilation go on perpetually under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why 4.8 Paritrana Sadhunam Vinashyacha Dushkritam. So those who are obedient to the laws of God are protected by different servants and demigods. Whereas those who are undesirable are vanquished. So Lord Brahma first met all the demigods, including Lord Shiva. Then, along with Mother Earth, they went to the shore of the ocean of milk, where Lord Vishnu lies on a white island, Shweta Deepa. We saw in the third verse, right? Both Lord Brahma and Vishnu had already known that such events will take place. And Prabhupada quotes the verse number 7.26 from Bhagavad Gita, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna. Where Krishna says, I know everything that has happened in the past, going to happen in the future. So Lord is omniscient, right? And he therefore knew what would happen at Daksha's sacrificial arena. And because of this, neither Lord Brahma or Vishnu, they attended the sacrifice of Daksha. See, from this 4.5 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Tanyaham Veda Sarvani. That means, for me, there is no past and present and future. That means Krishna's body is different from Arjuna's. Because he knows. Krishna knows past, present, future. But why I forget? Why Krishna does not forget? He remembers, I forget. Why I forget? Because I have got this material body. Krishna does not forget because he has no material body. Therefore, yes. So it is a natural conclusion, right? I forget because I got this material body. Krishna does not forget. Therefore, he has no material body. Natural conclusion. Because past, present, and future is due to this material body. Otherwise, there is no thinking of past, present, future. So when there is none of these material impediments, no, naturally the life is eternal. The knowledge is eternal. Bliss is eternal. And as soon as we are free from this material body, When these questions of past, present, future, pleasure, knowledge, no knowledge, all these dualities will finish. Whereas the impersonalists, the Mayavadi philosophy, they think that because the past, present, future, duality, everything is finished, therefore there is no variegatedness. They cannot understand. They cannot accommodate in the tiny brain that such things are possible. See, like Krishna, it is established that he does not have a material body. And it will be confirmed in 10th chapter also. Avajananti ma moda manushim tanum ashitam. 9.11 it says, no? 9th chapter. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature and my supreme dominion over all that be. See, the whole sacrifice, arranged by King Daksha, had been disturbed by Lord Shiva. So all the demigods present there, along with Brahma and the great sages, they specifically requested Lord Shiva to come and revive the sacrificial fire. This is there in 477. See, there is a common phrase, Shiva Hena Yajna. Any sacrifice without the presence of Lord Shiva is baffled. See, Lord Vishnu is Yajneshwara, Supreme Personality in the matter of sacrifice. Yet in each Yajna, it is necessary for all the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, to be present. So whenever a sacrifice is performed, it is meant for satisfying Lord Vishnu, the enjoyer of the fruits of all sacrifices. And when Lord Vishnu agrees to come to a sacrificial arena, all the demigods naturally follow their master. And their shares are offered in such sacrifices. So the conclusion is that the sacrifices performed are meant for Lord Vishnu, not for the demigods. See, quite often, we find when we begin to take the process of bhakti, if we all come, if somebody told us this program, so we start. So when we begin take the process of bhakti, we start facing more trouble and tribulations in life. We wonder why. When we are apparently not harming or troubling anybody, why there is so much pain? But we forget that all of us are eternal souls. That we are currently remembering only the small phase, the small PHASE phase, the small phase of our soul's journey. We don't realize or even remember the backlog of sins, not only some sins, backlog of sins which we are carrying from our previous lives. That's why Bhagavad Gita 7.26 it says, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. Oh Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. So, the omniscient Lord, who is watching us all the time, he rewards the right kind of tribulations at the right time. See, even though we might have committed loads of sins in previous lives, if voluntarily or involuntarily by mercy of devotees, we take up the process of devotional service in this lifetime, so Krishna mercifully, he will hasten the process of purification. He speed up. In fact, whatever we are getting now is very diluted form of punishment than what we deserve. But Krishna definitely bestows what is required for our purification. See, I came across an article which describes the process of refining silver. See, while refining silver, the silversmith, he holds the silver in the middle of the fire, right? Just like this, right? Middle, the fire is going on in the middle, where the flames are hot, has to burn away all the impurities. So he not only has to sit there holding the silver, but he has to keep his eyes on the silver the entire time it is in the fire. He cannot move here and there. So if the silver was left even a moment too long in the flames, it would be destroyed. So the silversmith holds it in the fire as long as he sees his image in it. In fact, Krishna is indeed our silversmith. And we are like the impure silver in his hands. And he puts us in the fire of purificatory process. And is watching us throughout. Continuously watching, anxiously waiting for us to become eligible to be taken back home to his abode. So like an expert silversmith, Krishna keeps us in the fire of purification until we repent sincerely and keep our hearts crystal clear enough for Him to reside in our hearts. So, while this is true for aspiring devotees like all of us, we should not misinterpret the same for pure devotees. In the purport of 1917, Prabhupada very nicely clarifies. The popular saying is that a housewife teaches the daughter-in-law by teaching the daughter. Similarly, Lord Krishna teaches the world by teaching the pure devotee. The devotee does not have to learn anything new from the Lord because Lord teaches a sincere devotee always from within for a pure devotee. So whenever therefore a show is made to teach the devotee, as in the case of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, it is for teaching the less intelligent. So a devotee's duty therefore is to ungrudgingly accept the tribulations from the Lord as a benediction. Pandavas were advised by Bhishma Deva to accept the responsibility of administration without hesitation. So let us pray to the Lord, no, Prabhupada, Guru, and all, to help us understand our insignificant position, right? And also to learn from the wonderful lessons taught by his pure devotees. See, we have heard from Prabhupada that waves of time, no, waves of time brings us together and then separates us according to the results of karma. So understanding the temporary nature of the material relationships, we should always depend on the eternal Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. That's why in Bhagavatam 2.1.5, Shukadeva Goswami says, Tasmad Bharat Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishwaro Harihi Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Checha Tabha Checha Thabhyayam. O descendant of King Bharata, one who desires to be free from all miseries, must hear about, glorify, and also remember the personality of Godhead, who is the super soul, the controller, and savior from all miseries. See, in this verse, Krishna is addressed as number one, Sarvatma. Now, Krishna is present as Paramatma in all living entities. So, whether we turn our attention to him or not, with causeless patience, he accompanies us life after life. That's why in the wonderful class, Prabhupada, he gave on November 1973 in Vrindavan, he quotes the Bhagavad Gita in verse 13.3, Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. In this body, which is known as Kshetra, there are two Kshetragya. One is the living entity, who is conscious only about his or bodily pains. Right? And on the other hand, Krishna as Paramatma knows the pains, pleasures of all bodies. So he is Suhrut, he is a well-wisher for all, Sarvatma. Second is Bhagavan. Krishna possesses all six opulences, full and unlimited. Knowledge, beauty, fame, strength, wealth, and renunciation. So he knows all our present, past, present, and future. So Prabhupada gives a very nice example of how one of his professor in Scottish college, he used to challenge the law of karma by asking, who is the witness for whatever deeds we did in our past lives? Who was seeing? How do you? So Prabhupada very nicely says, he said that he had no knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. We also at that time did not know. We were not very interested. But later on, when I read Bhagavad Gita, he says, here is witness. Upadrashta Anumanta. Here is witness, perpetual witness. Not only of this life, but many, many lives past. He knows everything. So Vedaham Samatitani Vartamanani 7.2. He knows everything. That is Krishna. He knows everything. What you have done or what you are not. What you want to do. That also Krishna knows. So this is Bhagavan. Then the third is Ishvara. Krishna is the supreme controller. And the fourth is Harihi. Hari means Krishna alone can steal away all our miseries. So the best thing would be to surrender unto Krishna. Surrender to him. Hear, glorify, and remember his glories always. So Prabhupada says, simply you have to become sober to hear Krishna. Not in a challenging attitude. Because Krishna talks with his devotees. He gives sanction indirectly, not directly. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. 18.6 Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is sitting in our heart, but he is giving sanction through Maya. Because directly he is not giving sanction. He doesn't want that. See what you're doing something wrong. So he doesn't want to give that sanction. See, just like a son is insisting his father, Father, give me 200 rupees. I want 200 rupees now. Father knows as soon as he gives him 200 rupees, he will go to the wine shop, spoil his life. So he doesn't want to give. But when he's insisting, he does not give it directly. He says to his mother, give him 200 rupees, let him go to hell. Let this rascal go. What can he do? Same Krishna. So instead of behaving like the adamant son, let us realize the costless mercy of Krishna and not waste this valuable human birth. See, in the fourth verse we saw, right? When Lord Brahma heard everything from the demigods and members who attended the sacrifice, Brahma replied, right? What did he say? You cannot be happy in executing a sacrifice if you blaspheme a great personality and thereby offend his lotus feet. You cannot have happiness in that way. See, Prajapati Daksha, with an intention of insulting Lord Shiva, he fails to invite him to a sacrifice, for which all the other demigods are invited. Now, due to maternal affection, Mother Sati goes to the sacrificial arena. And when Daksha fails to welcome her properly, being insulted by his offensive attitude to Lord Shiva, she quits her body. We saw that in the previous chapters. So Lord Shiva, when hearing this, he sends his men who beheaded Daksha. And thereby they polluted the whole sacrificial arena. So when the demigods approach Lord Brahma for help, Brahma advises them in 464, right? You cannot have happiness in that way. So Brahma is conveying a very important message that although we may perform huge sacrifices, we can never be happy if we insult, neglect, or blaspheme the devotees of the Lord. Please hear, Brahma is conveying very important that although we may perform so many sacrifices, yajnas and all these things, we can never be happy if we insult, if we neglect, or if we blaspheme the devotees of the Lord. Not directly the Lord, also, even the devotees of the Lord. So not realizing the greatness of Lord Shiva, Daksha insulted him in a very offensive manner in front of all the demigods, based on his bodily complexion, residence, right? So we should remember that every living entity is part and parcel of Krishna. And by insulting or hurting anyone, we are disrespecting the super soul within them. So definitely we cannot be happy by such actions. That's why we are always struggling. Because we are hurting so many people, knowingly or unknowingly. So we should not discriminate people based on their bodily appearance or their parentage or wealth. No. Srila Gurupad Goswami advises in verse 6 of Nectar of Instruction as to how we should behave. He says, a devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. Indeed, one should overlook a devotee having a body born in a low family, a body with a bad complexion, a deformed body, or diseased or deformed body. We should overlook these things. So according to ordinary vision, such imperfections may be seen as prominent in the body of a pure devotee. But despite such seeming defects, the body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. It is exactly like the waters of the Ganges, which sometimes during the rainy season are full of bubbles, foam, mud, right? So Ganges waters do not become polluted. So those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bathe in the Ganges without considering the conditions of water. So if without realizing the value of devotee association, we spend time insulting them, then we will have to face moroseness and inauspiciousness, just like what Daksha and his followers experienced in the sacrificial arena. Srila Prabhupada insists that speech is the most important symptom of Krishna conscious person. Speech. And a devotee of Lord always speaks about Krishna and also matters relating to Krishna. So we should always speak kindly to each and everyone. Sorry. My Guru Maharaj used to say, he used to quote a very nice verse from Shastra. Priyavakya pradhanena sarve tushyanti jantavah tasmat tadeva vaktavyam vachaneshu kim daridritaha. By speaking pleasing words, all the living entities are satisfied. Therefore, always speak sweetly. Why are you so poor in your sentences? And Krishna assures in Bhagavad Gita 10.9, Machchita madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So let us all follow the lotus feet of Guru, Prabhupada, and Krishna, right, to guide us to see Krishna in everyone and not to offend others by thoughts, words, or deeds. See, Lord Shiva, see, his greatness is incomparable because he's a great devotee of the Supreme Lord. It is said that amongst all the devotees of the personality of Godhead, Lord Shiva is the greatest. Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. The Lord Shiva is so great that he does not care for the material prosperity for which every one of us are eager. Right? And Parvati Mata, who is the powerful material nature personified, is under his full control as his wife. Yet he does not use her even to build a residential house. No need of skyscrapers or anything, or 5-bedroom or villa, car parking, BMW. So, no. He prefers to remain without shelter. And his great wife also agrees to live with him humbly. So, people in general worship goddess Durga, the wife of Lord Shiva, for material prosperity. But Lord Shiva engages her in his service without material desire. He simply advises his great wife that all kinds, see, very nice and important point. This is in 3:14:26 purport, where Prabhupada says, Lord Shiva simply advises Parvati Mata that of all kinds of worship, the worship of Vishnu is the highest. And greater than that is the worship of great devotee or anything in relation with Vishnu. See, in 5:10:24 purport, Prabhupada says, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that by offending a Vaishnava, one finishes all his spiritual activities. Means spiritual means completely gone. Offending a Vaishnava is considered the mad elephant offense. Mad elephant can destroy an entire garden, right? Which has been developed with great labor. So one may attain the topmost platform of devotional service. But somehow or the other, if he offends a Vaishnava, the whole structure collapses. Unconsciously, King Raghuhuna offended Jadabrata. But due to his good sense, he asked to be excused immediately. So this is the process by which one can be relieved from a Vaishnava aparadha. See, Krishna is always very simple and by nature merciful. So when one commits an offense at the feet of a Vaishnava, one must immediately apologize to such a personality so that his spiritual advancement may not be hampered. That's why in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya by 15.270, the translation says, when a person mistreats great souls, when a person mistreats great souls, offends, his lifespan, opulence, reputation, religion, possessions, and good fortune are all destroyed. So pure devotional service can be achieved only through the mercy of a pure devotee. Otherwise, it is not possible. That's why 7.5.32 says, Nesham matistavat purukramangrim sprishati anartha pagamo yadartha mahiyasam padarajo abhishekam. This is very nice. Mahiyasam padarajo abhishekam nishkinchananam na vranita yavat. See, the purpose is that unless one takes the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee, it is not possible to become a pure devotee. See, there are so many duties to be performed in our lives, in which one life. See, you have the duty towards your family, towards your kinsmen, towards your country, towards the animals, other living entities, obligation to demigods, great saintly persons, rishis. So we are reading Vedas, but it is given by Vyasadeva. So we are indebted to him. Similarly, many other Shastras we read. So we are indebted, right? Demigods. See, we are taking the sunshine. We are obliged to sun god. We are taking moonshine. We are obliged to moonshine. The moon god, air god, Varuna. See, everywhere. So you cannot live without water, right? You cannot live without light, without heat. So who is supplying all these things? Of course, Krishna is supplying, but we cannot see Krishna directly. So they are being supplied by different demigods. Therefore, Deva Yajna is recommended. Deva Yajna means ultimately to satisfy Krishna. So these are the processes. But if one takes to Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada says in 11.5.41 purport, if one takes to Krishna consciousness, he has no more obligation to all these devatas. Devarshi Bhutatpa Nrinam Pitranam. See, we have got so many obligations. But if you take to Krishna consciousness, everyone will be pleased. And you haven't got to oblige them by your service to them. Otherwise, you are bound to give them obeisances for their beneficial contribution. But devotees means pure devotees. We are still struggling to just. So please don't misinterpret and try. No, we should not to follow. I am already in Krishna consciousness. Okay, but we should respect them. We should be just like demigods. They went to approached the higher authority Brahma, right? Then they offered their obeisances, and then they spoke. So devotional service is rarely achieved. Rarely achieved means if you achieve, then you become free from all obligation. न जन्म कोटिभिः सुकृतिभिः तत्र लौल्यम एक मूल्यम न लभ्यते यत् जन्मभिः सुकृतिभिः. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 8.70. Prabhupada says in one of his lectures, Krishna consciousness can be achieved simply by your intense desire. That, what is that intense desire? This life I shall try to achieve favor of Krishna. This life I shall try to achieve favor of Krishna. Krishna will help you. Tesham satati yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam 10.10. Buddhi yogam dadamitam. So if you are actually seriously engaged in Krishna consciousness, then Krishna gives us intelligence how to approach him. So pure devotional service is rarely achieved. But by chance, Guru Krishna Kripaya Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 19.5. If we somehow or the other come in contact with the bona fide Guru and Krishna, Krishna is already there. We are already in touch. And if we are serious, then by the grace of Krishna, we get Nishkinchana devotee. By his grace, we achieve to the platform of devotional service. Otherwise, it is very difficult. See, not by executing karma, jnana, yoga. No, bhaktya mam abhijanati. 18.55 Bhagavad Gita. Simply you have to take pure devotional service. See, anger is so detrimental that even a great personality like Daksha, out of anger, left the arena where Brahma was presiding and all the great sages and pious and saintly persons were assembled. See, all of them requested him not to leave. But he was infuriated. No, he left thinking that the auspicious place was not fit for him. So, puffed by his exalted position, he thought that no one was greater than he in argument. It appears that all the members of the assembly, including Lord Brahma, requested him not to be angry and leave and don't be angry and don't leave their company. But in spite of all these requests, he left. That is the effect of cruel anger. Effect of cruel anger. So in Bhagavad Gita, it is advised that one who desires to make tangible advancement in spiritual consciousness must avoid three things: lust, anger, and the mode of passion. Actually, we can see that lust. We can see that lust, anger, and passion make a man crazy. Even though he be a great person as Daksha. See, the very name Daksha suggests that he was expert in all material activities. But still, because of his aversion towards such a saintly personality like Lord Shiva or even Lord Brahma, he was attacked by these three enemies: anger, lust, and passion. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised that one be very careful not to offend Vaishnavas. He compared offenses towards a Vaishnava to a mad elephant. We saw that. Because a mad elephant can do anything horrible. So when a person offends a Vaishnava, he can perform any abominable action. So we should always surrender to the one, that only one, Krishna. The story in Hitopanishad. Udara means belly and Indriya means the senses. So all the senses may have met together in a meeting. Okay. They said that we are these senses, the different senses. They said we are working. We are the working senses. The leg said, yes, I am whole day, I am walking. The hand says, yes, I am working whole day. Wherever the body, whatever the body says, you come here, I pick up the food. Cooking, I also cook. I say that I am seeing. So every limb of the body, they made a strike. No more we are going to work only for the stomach. Who is eating? Who is only eating, doing nothing? We are all working and this man, this stomach, eating only. So the strike, just like the capitalist and the worker, right? The worker undergoes strike, no more working. So all these limbs, the parts of the body, they observed this strike. And after 2-3 days, when again they met, another roundtable conference, they talked among themselves. Why we are becoming weak? We cannot work now. The legs also said, yes, I am also feeling weak. Hands also said, I am also feeling weak. So what is the cause? Then the stomach says, because I am not eating. If you want to remain strong, then you must give me to eat. So I am the enjoyer. You are not the enjoyer. You are to supply things for my enjoyment. That is your position. So they understood. So yes, we can see we cannot directly enjoy. It is not possible. Enjoyment must be through the stomach. See, you take one rasgulla, fingers you cannot enjoy. You give it to the mouth, and when it goes to the stomach, there is immediately enjoy, and it's full of energy. Not only fingers enjoy, eyes, all other parts, they feel satisfaction. Complete strength also comes. So the real enjoyer is Krishna. Krishna says 5.29. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram surdam sarva bhutana gyatva mam shantim richati. So Krishna is dependent on his pure devotees. He does not even accept the offerings of those who are not devotees. A pure devotee is one who feels he does not possess anything material. A devotee is always happy in possessing the devotional service of the Lord. The devotees may sometimes appear materially poor, but because they are spiritually advanced, no, and enriched, they are most dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So such devotees are free from attachment to family, society, friendship, children, and so on. They abandon affection for all these material possessions and are always happy in possessing the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. So Supreme Personality of Godhead understands the position of his devotee. If a person derides a pure devotee, he is never recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That means the Supreme Lord never excuses one who offends a pure devotee. So there are many examples of this in history. A great mystic yoga, Durvasa Muni, offended great devotee Ambarish Maharaj, we saw that. Durvasa Muni, right? And he was chastised by Sudarshan Chakra. So even though great mystic directly approached the Supreme Lord Krishna, he was never excused. So those on the path of liberation should be very careful not to offend a pure devotee. See, the phrase Vaishnava Aparadh is one of the most used among devotee circles. Vaishnava Aparadh, Prabhu, Vaishnava Aparadh. Though there are several causes mentioned in various places, I found a very intriguing reason mentioned in the pages of Bhagavatam 3:16-2, chapter entitled Jaya and Vijaya cursed by the sages. This verse is spoken by Lord Vishnu, approving the curse meted out by the Kumaras on the doorkeepers Jaya and Vijaya. Personally, what I said, these attendants of mine, Jaya and Vijaya by name, have committed a great offense against you because of ignoring me. Lord says in this verse that doorkeepers offended the sages because of ignoring him. Kadati kritya mam. Adikramam also means overstepping a superior personality. See, the purpose says the word atikramam used here indicates that in offending a devotee, one neglects the Supreme Lord himself. So this is the point we must understand. Remember, whenever we are at the point of offending a devotee, a superior or any other innocent soul, right? That means we are ignoring. So in Krishna consciousness, we are trained to do everything to remember Krishna, right? Not to ignore Krishna. But when you offend a sincere Vaishnava, we not only hurt him, but also the Supreme Lord who is protecting him. So because we forget that the Lord is in their hearts, and they are in the Lord's hearts, sadho hridayam mahyam sadhu nam hridayam tvaham. So when we sincerely repent for all the Vaishnava aparadas that we have committed, when we sincerely repent, Krishna immediately responds positively and forgives our offenses. But it is extremely difficult to repent sincerely unless the wholeheartedly we accept our own faults and realize the situation of the person whom we have offended. So as an ignorant soul, no, we might have committed so many offenses. The Lord has made so many Vaishnavas. So we should humbly beg for their forgiveness. If not, at least from the mind, please excuse us. And pray to the Lord and spiritual master that let us not commit such grave offenses in the future, which is the biggest impediment for any spiritual advancement. See, a very famous verse quoted by the Bhagavatam by in 4:12:37. My Guru Maharaj used to quote this verse, 4:12:37. Shanta samadrisha shuddhaha sarvabhuta anuranjanaha yantyanjasa achyuta padam achyuta priya bandhavaha. Persons who are peaceful, equipoised, cleansed, and purified, and who know the art of pleasing all other living entities, keep friendship only with devotees of the Lord. They alone can very easily achieve the perfection of going back home back to Godhead. So here, the qualities of a person who is eligible to go back to the abode of Vishnu are described. So one important quality is Sarva Bhuta Anuranjana, which means giving satisfaction to all living entities. Actually, different living entities have different desires. And it's not possible for a person to satisfy all the living entities. However, the devotee of Lord preaches the Lord's message, which will give satisfaction to whoever receives it. And even for those who are not receiving it, the devotee gives satisfaction just by his presence and association. So the basic thing which will satisfy any person, very important, three things. The basic thing which will satisfy any person is one, recognizing his importance. Two, giving the due respect. And three, being courteous. So if a devotee does not do this, he commits jiva para. See, sometimes we become so busy, right, in our service, and imagine ourselves to be transcendental to all the formalities, such as being kind and courteous. Usually, we tend to think, I am serving my Guru and Krishna, so I don't have to care about other devotees and especially non-devotees. This mentality does not show our advancement or busy service in Krishna consciousness. Rather, our passionate, it shows our proud nature. A pure devotee is very courteous, and he recognizes each and every person in the sphere of his knowledge and influence. He does not say, I am busy in serving my Guru Maharaj and Krishna. Although he's actually serving in Guru Maharaj, he's Guru and Krishna. So very nice line by Prabhupada in a very beautiful letter, Prabhupada letter to he wrote to one of his disciples. He said, please continue your service to Krishna in the form of book distribution. My greetings to your wife and son. And with this letter, I have sent some foreign stamps for your son. Hope he will like them. See, the disciple's son was a philatelist, he collecting stamps. And this great Acharya, Prabhupada, who travels tirelessly over the globe and who writes volumes on Vedic knowledge, he does not forget to recognize this small kid of his disciple and his desires. Actually, nobody is going to question Prabhupada if he doesn't inquire about the child. And it is true sense, it is his true sense of Krishna consciousness, no, by which he responds to the desire of this small kid. So this is the real spirit of Sarva Bhuta Anuranjana. So this comes when a person is factually busy in the service of his Guru and Krishna. Many times we ignore people around us and become callous to their feelings. So when we are questioned about this, we simply reply, I am really busy in my Krishna conscious activities. I have no time for this or these mundane things. See, from this incident, we can learn that it is only because of our lack of Krishna consciousness we behave like this. And not because we are busy in serving the Lord. Lack of Krishna consciousness. And when we start honestly admitting this fact, Krishna will help us to manage our time properly and understand the value of people who are surrounding us. See, I have practically seen my Guru Maharaj when I was in Rajkot during Janmashtami long back. It was such a busy occasion, right? And Guru Maharaj was spending a few minutes with whoever wanted to talk to him. Not only personally, but even when the phone, whenever somebody calls, no, he never puts the phone down saying, I am busy. No. He talks for a few minutes, inquires the basic well-being of that person. So what happened? One of my godbrother was in Rajkot, and later on he went to Dwarka along with his wife and kid. So after Janmashtami, they went to Dwarka for 2 days, and when they were returning back to Rajkot by train, without their asking for a drop from the railway station to the temple, Rajkot temple, Guru Maharaj had come straight to the station with his servant, personal servant, Vaishnav Seva Prabhu. He himself was driving the van and took them back to the temple. In fact, that Godbrother said he heard from devotees that Guru Maharaj was busy going to different parts of the city the whole day and still made it a point to come to station and receive them. And that was his ripe age, at that age, 80, around 70, almost 80. He tirelessly worked to preach Krishna consciousness by actually caring for every soul who comes across him. Even though he is extremely busy, 24/7, it does not budge him an inch in being courteous to others. Always be very courteous. So these things clearly showed that our so-called transcendental behavior is simply a nonsense. Nothing to do with Krishna consciousness. If we honestly introspect, we can clearly understand it is due to lack of time management and lack of value for others. See, Krishna's mercy descends only through the Vaishnavas. So we should be extremely careful to avoid offense to Vaishnavas. If a devotee commits Vaishnava aparadha, we saw that his offense is like a mad elephant, uprooting and trampling the creeper of devotion. And after the creeper leaves dry up, no, it becomes lifeless. In the Padma Puran, Lord Shiva glorifies Lord Vishnu and the Vaishnavas when questioned by Mother Parvati as to whose worship is the greatest. Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnoraradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadiyanam samarchanam. Lord Shiva tells his wife Parvati, my dear Devi, the worship of Lord Vishnu is the topmost worship. However, above the worship of Lord Vishnu is the rendering of service to Vaishnavas who are related to Lord Vishnu. So Srimad Bhagavatam is full of examples of glorious service to Vaishnavas. And the foremost being that of Srila Prahlad Maharaj, who inspired being offered direct service by Lord Narasimhadev unto himself. Prahlad Maharaj requested Narasimhadev to let him serve his spiritual master, pure Vaishnava Narada Muni. Because unless Narada Muni had not shown him the path of devotional service to attain the Supreme Lord, how could he have gotten the rarest opportunity to see the Lord face to face? So because of Narada Muni, so let us render non-duplicitous grateful service to Vaishnavas, by whose mercy we can get closer to Krishna without delay. I think some more points to be discussed, but I think time is of essence. Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Tirupad ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhischa, Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavane Vishnu. Hare Krishna. If you have any questions or anything to share, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Sorry
Krishna,
to take me a little
Prabhuji.
time. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Prabhuji, by saying Vaishnava Aprad, does it also mean encompass any Jiva Aprad also, knowingly or unknowingly? Suppose we have not intended to hurt somebody, but they have misunderstood you, and the relation is little disturbed. What do you do? Do you go out of your way to go and ask for pardon, or
Yeah, as far as possible, that's what the Shastra says, same thing. We may, sometimes we think we have not done anything wrong. Definitely we know that it is his mistake and all, but still, because Krishna is in the heart of each and every individual, right? For me,
yes?
it is easy to say, if it's not for, maybe that person is not in front of you, maybe it's far away, whatever it is. In your mind also, you can sincerely seek forgiveness. That's why when every time you have to seek forgiveness, we might have done knowingly or unknowingly. We have to seek forgiveness. In your mind, if possible in front, definitely yes.
Oh, thank you so much, Prabhuji. You didn't intend to hurt, but for some reason they misunderstood you. Then it's you still have to go and ask for pardon, right, Prabhuji?
Yeah, of course, we should not be so humble and so down also that they will put us down. That is also difficult. So we should be very assertive as well. But we should know circumstances may be different. So accordingly, we have to, because it's Kali Yuga, right? Nobody, the moment you seek forgiveness, just like Lord Shiva immediately forgive you and all. Now these days they don't forgive immediately also.
They mock you.
Yeah. So we should be very careful. So in that case, you can, in your mind only, you can seek forgiveness and ask Krishna, please take care.
Just
Right?
take care. Okay, fine,
Take care. So at
Prabhuji.
least you are peaceful. You feel peaceful to do your sadhana better. That is more
Yes.
important. All these things should not affect your sadhana, chanting and all. Because otherwise, what happens? Our mind will always be thinking of reacting or doing something, and you'll be chanting, but mind is always away. It's not proper. So by seeking forgiveness and all, taking the mistake, okay, I take the blame myself. Finished. Everything stops there. Then I can do my sadhana properly. Nothing to worry me. That should be our aim. Correct?
Okay,
Otherwise, it
Prabhuji.
takes a longer time to get purified. Yes, Uttam
Yes.
Dhamma Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Maharaji.
Raji, Hare Krishna. Just in
Hare
addition to what
Krishna.
Mataji was asking, I'm sure
Yes, Prabhu.
you are also aware of the story where the Goswami story, where once Guru Goswami was chanting, I suppose, if I'm not right on the name, maybe somewhere, but there was a differently abled person who was walking around, so he thought that he's laughing at me while he was meditating on Radharani. And it was not an intended offense, but he felt that he was offending and mocking at him. And then his chanting was, he was not getting the taste for it. So then they called everybody to attend the feast, and this particular person did not come. So though it was not intended, but the chanting got affected.
Correct. Correct. Very nice. Thank you for relating that point, Prabhu. Correct. That's
Thank
very
you, Prabhu, and
nice.
thank you for the wonderful explanation, Prabhu, as always.
Thank you. Thank you very
Hare
much,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Nice to hear your voice. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thanks for the wonderful
Prabhuji.
nectarian plan.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank
Once
you.
again,
Really,
congratulations for the new center. Hare Krishna.
all Vaishnavas will see.
Jai. Krishna willing, we'll
Thank
see Monday. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. Please come.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Well, this is the Revatinda Prabhu's voice.
Ah,
Hare
yes,
Krishna
yes,
Prabhu.
yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Suddenly I couldn't realize that the voice is coming.
Prabhuji, I just have one question.
Yes, bro.
When we devotees who are practicing nicely, they are in blissful state. They are doing their Krishna conscious nicely. But when we preach to someone and we tell them about the 4 regulative principles, they say, "Oh my God, these many restrictions! I cannot. It's very hard to come into or to follow Krishna consciousness and all these things like that." They are not feeling bliss. So how to make them stay bliss and follow the process?
No, I want to ask you the question first. First time only when you called him for the program, did you say that these are the rules?
No,
No.
later on. Prabhuji.
Later on, yeah. See,
Yeah.
the middle take not. You should not tell them all this whatever following regulation rules regulations. We should not tell them anything. Because first of all, they don't come for the program. At least once they come, have the prasadam, goes slowly and steadily. They can, when they get the taste for coming for the programs and hearing Bhagavatam and chanting and all, then if you say, because they already got the taste, now they cannot leave anything, then they start following the rules and regulations. So now, otherwise, it's not possible. Otherwise, we say, start telling that you should not do this, you should not do that. It's difficult. Even when Prabhupada, long time back when the initiation was taking place, right? On that only he told them about 4 regulative principles and all. They said, Prabhupada. No, but ultimately they followed. Now they are very pure devotees. Initially, it is not so easy. Definitely not easy. But for, I think, for Bharatiyas, for people in India, it's because in the beginning of the stage of life, they are already there is no meat eating, there is no illicit sex. All these things almost there, nothing there. It's just a rules and regulations there, but not funny. But now because the Kali progresses because of association of different people around, they get influenced, and therefore we don't have to even they also eat meat. All these things are happening, and illicit it doesn't mean physical actually. Even the mind also, like this by thinking itself, it is illicit. So those things are there. Yes, bro. Sorry if it's possible. Is it okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Only thing we should not. You are right. It's not so easy. Of course, everybody. We are still not. We are in the struggling devotees. We are still not in that much stage. We are still in the path of. We should know as struggling devotees. We should know that. We should introspect ourselves because we still have this anger comes, reaction comes. Everything is still coming. So the purification still not happened fully. Unless it happens completely, then the moment we don't get agitated, we don't react to anybody, and we are very courteous and happy. Even we know we are not in wrong, but still, that means we are completely in pure consciousness. We are completely surrendered to Krishna. Krishna will take care. I don't have to do anything on that. Right? That is why we see all the wonderful acharyas and all. So we have to be always absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And this it is possible. We have to take, of course, every step we have to pray to Krishna. Krishna, please take. I am doing for your, I am glorifying you. So Krishna has to take care of you, right? This Prabhu, this Mata is glorifying me. They are giving me seva. So I should, otherwise his name is spoiled. So for his name's sake, he will definitely help you. But you have to be sincere and faithful. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Obeisance is the greatest remembrance of Krishna.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Correct. The moment you, I see many people I've seen in my home also, forget about the temple. In the home also, when people come, they don't दंडवत प्रणाम करते ही नहीं इवन देख के ऐसे आके ऑल्टर देखते रहेंगे ये क्या है वो क्या है ओके दैट्स आल्सो गुड दे हैविंग सम दर्शन फर्स्ट थिंग यू शुड बी फॉल डाउन my guruma used to say if you don't fall flat in front of the lord you will fall flat at your back in the ICU. That's what you used to say. At this age, at the 80 plus age also you used to do dandavata pranams. So we're really inspired by these acharyas. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, you have anything else? Otherwise, I will stop here. Thank you, Parush Mata, for giving me this opportunity to glorify the Lord. and purify ourselves. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you,
Hare
Akshana
Krishna.
Mataji. Nirmala Mataji.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Padma.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, हमें ऐसा लगता है हमारी प्यास अभी तक नहीं बुझी।
बुझेगी वो। हरे कृष्ण। थैंक यू हरे कृष्ण। गुरुदेव की जय। श्री रूपा की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव। थैंक यू कल्याण माता
Hare
जी।
Krishna, Prabhu.
शांत
Thank
प्रभु
you.
हरे
Thank
कृष्ण।
you, Prabhuji.
शांत गोविंद प्रभु हरे कृष्ण। थैंक यू स्वाति माता हरे कृष्ण। अश्विनी हरे कृष्ण।
हरे
ज्योति
कृष्णा।
माता जी हरे कृष्ण। थैंक यू वेरी मच। हरे कृष्णा। टेक केयर। बी सेफ।
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्णा।
Prabhuji, you are the host.
Yeah, I'm doing. I'm just Shanta Govind Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams to you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.